Welcome to the Boring Podcast. Tonight we'll calmly talk through something that happened, perhaps, or didn't. If this helps you drift off, we've done our job. Feel free to do nothing at all.
Yes, indeed. Doing nothing at all sounds rather appealing right now, doesn't it? Just letting the gentle sounds of our voices wash over you, like a very still and slightly tepid bath. Tonight we'll be discussing something truly mundane, something so ordinary that it might just lull you into a peaceful slumber. We're going to talk about supermarkets. More specifically, the subtle, almost imperceptible changes in their layouts over time. It's a fascinating topic, in its own way, a very quiet and uneventful way.
Supermarkets. Those brightly lit places, filled with rows and rows of things. Things in boxes, things in cans, things in plastic wrap. So many things. Have you ever stopped to consider, amidst the gentle hum of the refrigerated sections and the soft squeak of shopping cart wheels, how these things are arranged? The subtle science, if you can call it that, of supermarket layout. It's a topic ripe with, well, not excitement exactly, more like a quiet, contemplative stillness, like a very still pond. A pond with no ducks even, just still water.
It's a topic that doesn't exactly lend itself to thrilling narratives, does it? No dramatic twists, no sudden reveals. Just the slow, gradual shift of product placement over the years. Perhaps the bakery section moved a few feet to the left. Or maybe the canned goods aisle now features a slightly different configuration of shelves. These are the kinds of changes we're talking about. The kind that you might not even notice, unless you were, paying an almost unnatural level of attention. Which, let's face it, most of us aren't. We're usually too busy thinking about what to have for dinner, or whether we remembered to buy milk, or perhaps just staring blankly ahead.
Milk. A staple of most shopping lists, usually found in the refrigerated section, often towards the back of the store. Why is that, do you think? Is it to encourage us to wander through the other aisles, tempted by the brightly colored packaging and strategically placed impulse buys? Or is it simply a matter of logistics, keeping the milk cold and close to the loading dock? These are the kinds of questions that plague us here at the Boring Podcast. Questions that probably have very simple answers, but which we will nonetheless ponder at length, in a quiet and unhurried manner. Like watching paint dry, very slowly drying paint.
Yes, the logistics of milk, a truly captivating subject. Now I recall a time, and this was some time ago, when the dairy aisle was situated, not at the back, but rather somewhat closer to the front, perhaps even adjacent to the produce section. This, of course, was before the advent of the large, walk-in refrigerators that are so ubiquitous in modern supermarkets. Back then, refrigeration technology was, shall we say, less sophisticated. So placing the dairy closer to the entrance minimized the time the milk spent outside of the cooler. A small detail, perhaps, but one that speaks volumes about the evolution of supermarket design. Volumes, whispered very softly.
The produce section. A vibrant display of fruits and vegetables, arranged in a way that is both aesthetically pleasing and, presumably, conducive to efficient shopping. But has it always been this way? Have the pyramids of perfectly ripe apples and the carefully arranged bunches of bananas always occupied this prime real estate? Or were there times, in the long and uneventful history of the supermarket, when the produce section was relegated to a less prominent location? These are the mysteries we seek to unravel, slowly and methodically, like carefully untangling a very long and not particularly interesting piece of string.
And let us not forget the placement of the bakery. The aroma of freshly baked bread, wafting through the air, strategically designed to entice us with its warm, comforting scent. Is the bakery always near the entrance, as it so often is today? Or did it once reside in a different corner of the supermarket, perhaps tucked away near the back, alongside the less glamorous staples like flour and sugar? These are important questions, in their own quiet and unassuming way. Like pondering the exact shade of beige on a very ordinary wall, a wall that you've seen 1,000 times but never really noticed. Until now.
So yes, as we were saying, these aisles, these long, brightly lit stretches of consumer goods, they weren't always so organized. One might even say, back in the early days, they were rather haphazard. Imagine, if you will, cans of peaches next to boxes of detergent, loaves of bread nestled amongst cleaning supplies, a chaotic jumble, a veritable free-for-all of groceries. It wasn't necessarily aesthetically pleasing, Not in the way we understand it today, but it was, in its own way, a system. Or perhaps not a system, but a way things were, and sometimes that's enough, isn't it? Just a way things are. Not better, not worse, just are.
Indeed. The very notion of a dedicated aisle for, say, breakfast cereals is a relatively recent development. Think about it. Little cardboard boxes, all lined up neatly, each containing a processed grain product designed to be consumed with milk. Rows and rows of them. Such uniformity. It's almost mesmerizing, isn't it? And yet, there was a time when these very same boxes might be scattered throughout the store, intermingled with bags of flour, jars of pickles, perhaps even tins of sardines. The mind boggles, doesn't it, to think of such a disorganized state of affairs. And yet, people survived. They found their breakfast cereals amidst the chaos. Remarkable, really.
It really is quite something to ponder. The evolution of the supermarket, from a disorganized jumble to the highly structured environment we know today. The placement of products, the strategic positioning of impulse buys near the checkout counter. These things weren't just haphazardly decided upon. Oh no, there was thought put into it. Research, analysis. Experts were consulted. Data was analyzed, all to optimize the shopping experience, to maximize sales, to encourage consumer spending. It's a fascinating subject, really, when you delve into it. The psychology of the supermarket. A silent battle of wits between retailer and consumer.
And the lighting. Oh, the lighting. Fluorescent tubes, strategically placed to cast a uniform glow upon the merchandise, making everything look fresh and appealing. Work. A stark contrast to the dimly lit general stores of yesteryear, where goods were often shrouded in shadow, their quality a mystery until the moment of purchase. Now everything is bathed in light, exposed for all to see. The good, the bad, and the slightly dented. It's a brave new world, isn't it? This world of brightly lit supermarkets, with their endless aisles and strategically placed products.
The very idea of a frozen food aisle. Imagine. Entire walls dedicated to preserving food at sub-zero temperatures. Rows and rows of frozen dinners, vegetables, ice cream, a marvel of modern technology. And yet, there was a time when such a thing was unimaginable. A time when refrigeration was a luxury, and frozen food a futuristic concept. It's quite remarkable, really, the progress we've made. From iceboxes to walk-in freezers. From fresh produce to frozen peas. It's a testament to human ingenuity.
Consider the dairy aisle. Milk, cheese, yogurt, all neatly arranged in refrigerated cases. A temperature-controlled environment, designed to maintain freshness and prevent spoilage. Such precision. Such control. And yet, there was a time when milk was delivered daily, in glass bottles, left on doorsteps in the early morning hours. A simpler time, perhaps. But also a time of greater risk, the risk of spoilage, of contamination. The modern supermarket, with its controlled environment, has eliminated these risks, ensuring the safety and freshness of our dairy products.
And let's not forget the bakery section, with its tantalizing aroma of freshly baked bread. The smell alone is enough to entice even the most disciplined shopper. Rows of loaves, cakes, pastries, all displayed in a way that maximizes their visual appeal. A feast for the senses. And yet, there was a time when bread was baked at home, in wood-fired ovens, the aroma filling the house with a comforting warmth. A different kind of experience altogether, more rustic perhaps, but no less satisfying.
The evolution of the supermarket is a reflection of our changing society. Our desire for convenience, for efficiency, for order. We no longer have the time or the inclination to search for our groceries amidst a chaotic jumble. We want everything neatly arranged, categorized, labeled. We want to be able to find what we need quickly and easily. And the supermarket, in its ever-evolving form, provides us with that. It's a testament to our ever-changing needs. A reflection of our modern lives.
As we were saying, or rather, as we may have alluded to earlier in this perhaps overly extended exploration of supermarket layouts, the placement of products wasn't always the meticulously planned, yet somehow still haphazard, arrangement we encounter today. One might even venture to say that, back in the early days, the very notion of a dedicated aisle for, say, canned peaches would have seemed as outlandish as a shopping cart with its own propulsion system. And yet, here we are, in a world of pre-sliced mangoes and self-checkout kiosks. The evolution, or perhaps just the change, is quite something, or perhaps not. It all depends, one supposes, on one's perspective on the subtle nuances of retail grocery display.
Indeed, the seemingly mundane shift from jumbled piles of produce to the regimented rows of brightly colored fruits and vegetables we see today represents a significant, albeit slow and incremental, transformation in the shopping experience. Consider, if you will, the sheer logistical undertaking involved in transitioning from a system where, perhaps, a customer might have to request a specific type of apple from a shopkeeper, to a system where countless varieties of apples are readily available, pre-washed and often pre-bagged, for the consumer's immediate perusal and selection. It's a change, a subtle shift, a quiet revolution in the way we acquire our sustenance. Or at least, it's something. It happened. Or maybe it didn't. Who can really say for sure?
We touched upon the idea in a previous segment of this ongoing and potentially never-ending discussion of the strategic placement of essential items like milk and bread at the rear of the store. This seemingly arbitrary decision, this subtle manipulation of the shopper's trajectory through the aisles, is, in fact, a carefully calculated tactic designed to maximize exposure to other, perhaps less essential, products. Think, for a moment, about the sheer number of times you've found yourself reaching for an impulse purchase, a brightly colored candy bar, a magazine with a particularly intriguing cover, simply because it happened to be placed within your line of sight as you navigated your way to the dairy section. It's a fascinating, or perhaps just mildly interesting, aspect of consumer psychology. Or maybe it's not.
And let's not forget, as we delve deeper into the annals of supermarket history, the gradual emergence of the end cap display. This seemingly insignificant yet strategically vital area of the store, located at the end of each aisle, serves as a prime location for promotional items, seasonal goods, and other products designed to catch the shopper's eye. Think about it. You're walking down an aisle, your mind focused on a specific item, and suddenly, there it is. A brightly colored display of something you never knew you needed, but now suddenly find yourself compelled to purchase. The end cap. A silent salesman, whispering its siren song of consumerism. Or maybe it's just a stack of boxes. Who knows?
We've talked about milk, we've talked about bread, we've even touched upon the fascinating world of end cap displays. But what about the frozen food aisle, this frigid corridor, this icy repository of prepackaged meals and frozen desserts? Represents another significant milestone in the evolution of the supermarket. Imagine, if you can, a time before frozen peas, before microwavable dinners, before ice cream could be conveniently stored in your own home. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Or maybe it's not. Perhaps it's just slightly cooler.
The frozen food aisle, a testament to human ingenuity, a triumph of modern refrigeration technology. Or just a long, cold box filled with things. Think about the sheer variety of products available in this frozen wonderland. Pizzas, vegetables, complete meals, desserts, and so much more. It's a testament to our desire for convenience, our need to have readily available meals at our fingertips. Or perhaps it's simply a reflection of our increasingly busy lives. It's something to think about, or perhaps not.
From the placement of produce to the strategic location of essential items, the layout of a supermarket is a carefully orchestrated ballet of consumer psychology and logistical efficiency, or at least it might be. It's a topic we could explore for hours, or perhaps just a few more minutes. But for now, let's just sit here, in the quiet contemplation of the supermarket, and appreciate the subtle complexities of this seemingly mundane aspect of modern life. Or not. It's up to you.
And as we continue to meander through this seemingly endless landscape of supermarket history, let us not forget the importance of lighting, the subtle influence of music, and the countless other factors that contribute to the overall shopping experience. These seemingly insignificant details, these subtle nuances of the retail environment, play a crucial role in shaping our perceptions, influencing our choices, and ultimately determining what ends up in our shopping carts. Or perhaps they don't. It's hard to say for sure. Perhaps we'll never truly know. But it's something to consider as you drift off to sleep.
So as we were saying, or rather, as I was saying, and you were politely listening, or perhaps dozing, The placement of the dairy aisle. It used to be, and I'm talking about a time long ago, maybe a decade, maybe a little less, it used to be on the left side of the store. Now, of course, it's on the right. A significant shift, one might say, if one were inclined to think about supermarket layouts in terms of significant shifts. But why? Why the change? Was it a cost-cutting measure? Was it a feng shui thing? Or perhaps the manager just felt like it. These are the questions that keep me up, or rather, used to keep me up, before I discovered the joys of beige paint and the gentle hum of a refrigerator. Sometimes, I even wonder about the color of the floor tiles. Are they speckled? Are they a solid, unassuming gray? The world may never know.
Yes, the dairy aisle, a cornerstone of the modern supermarket experience. Milk, cheese, yogurt, sometimes even eggs, though they could also be found near the produce depending on the store. And let's not forget the butter. Salted, unsalted, whipped, spreadable. So many choices, so little time. Or maybe so much time, depending on how you look at it. I once spent a good 15 minutes comparing different brands of cottage cheese. Low fat, full fat, small curd, large curd. It was a Tuesday. Or maybe a Wednesday. The days all blend together sometimes. Like the subtle variations in off-white paint. Eggshell, ivory, cream. It can be hard to tell the difference.
Speaking of choices, the cereal aisle. A veritable labyrinth of colorful boxes and sugary promises, positioned strategically to attract the attention of children and the reluctantly compliant parents who trail behind them. Frosted Flakes, puffed rice, granola, so many shapes and sizes. I remember a time, and this was long before the dairy aisle migration, when the cereal aisle was directly across from the bakery. The aroma of freshly baked bread mingling with the sugary sweetness of processed grains. A sensory overload, one might say. Or perhaps not. I once saw a man wearing mismatched socks in the cereal aisle. One was blue, the other brown. I still think about that sometimes.
The bakery. Another crucial element of the supermarket landscape. The smell of yeast and sugar hanging heavy in the air. Donuts, muffins, cakes. The promise of instant gratification. Or the delayed gratification of taking it home and savoring it later. The choices we face in the modern supermarket can be overwhelming. I once saw a woman drop a loaf of bread in the bakery aisle. It landed buttered side down, of course. Murphy's Law. Or was it Newton's Law? I always get those two confused. She just sighed and walked away. I wonder what she had for dinner that night. Probably not toast.
Probably not toast, indeed. Unless she was particularly fond of the taste of floor tile. Which brings us back to the dairy aisle. Did they move it to accommodate the expanding bakery section? Or was it the other way around? These are the mysteries that plague me. The unanswered questions that keep me tossing and turning, or rather, gently shifting my position on the sofa. I also wonder about the placement of the frozen food section. Always so cold, so brightly lit. A stark contrast to the warm, inviting glow of the bakery. Like the difference between a polar bear and a grizzly bear. Both bears, yet so different.
The frozen food aisle. A land of convenience and questionable nutritional value. Pizza, ice cream, vegetables encased in a frosty layer of ice. A modern marvel, really. Trust me. The ability to preserve food for extended periods. I once saw a man with a frozen turkey tucked under his arm in the frozen food aisle. It was July. Or maybe August. I can't recall exactly. He seemed to be in a hurry. Perhaps he was late for a barbecue. Or maybe he just really liked frozen turkeys. You never know. People are full of surprises. Like the time I found a $20 bill in the pocket of an old coat. A small, unexpected joy. Like finding a perfectly ripe avocado. Or a parking spot close to the entrance of the supermarket. Small victories.
Small victories indeed. The little things in life. Like finding all your matching socks. Or remembering which side of the supermarket the dairy aisle is on. Left or right, it's a question for the ages. Or, at least for the next episode of this podcast. Assuming we can muster the energy to discuss it. Perhaps we should take a brief intermission, a moment of silence, to contemplate the vastness of the supermarket and the infinite possibilities contained within its brightly lit aisles. I need a nap, or maybe just a cup of chamomile tea. Decaffeinated, of course.
Yes, a moment of silence. Or perhaps the gentle hum of a refrigerator, a fitting soundtrack for our contemplation. The supermarket, a place of routine and ritual, a stage for the mundane dramas of everyday life. The dropped loaf of bread, the mismatched socks, the frozen turkey in July. These are the stories that shape us. Or perhaps not. Maybe they're just fleeting moments in the grand tapestry of existence. Like the dust bunnies that gather under the sofa. Silent witnesses to the passage of time. I wonder what brand of cleaning spray is most effective against dust bunnies. Perhaps we can discuss that in a future episode. Or not, we'll see.
Now, let's just gently retrace our steps, shall we? Think back, if you will, to the very beginning, to the early days of supermarkets, which we've touched upon previously. Remember those long, straight aisles? Very linear, very predictable. You knew where everything was, or at least you thought you did. It was a simpler time, perhaps. But was it truly better? That's a question we may or may not explore further. For now, just picture those aisles, stretching out before you, filled with cans and boxes, all neatly stacked. The lighting, probably fluorescent, a bit harsh but familiar. The air conditioning, perhaps a little too cold. Just a very standard, unremarkable experience, overall. A place to buy groceries, nothing more, nothing less.
Yes, those initial layouts, so straightforward, so organized. Almost rigidly so. Product categories grouped together, logically for the most part. Canned goods with canned goods, produce with produce, and so on. It was a system that worked, in its own way. Efficient, perhaps, but not necessarily engaging. Customers walked up and down the aisles, their carts rattling along the linoleum or perhaps early concrete floors. A very utilitarian experience, wouldn't you say? Not much in the way of ambiance, just rows and rows of products. And yet, this was the standard for quite some time. It's almost hard to imagine now, in a world of end caps and promotional displays, but that's how it was. Just imagine pushing your metal cart along the cold, hard floor, the sound echoing through the large, open space.
And the checkout experience? A single line, often quite long, leading to a cashier sitting behind a register. No self-checkout kiosks, no bagging your own groceries, a much more personal interaction, one might say, although perhaps not always a pleasant one. Waiting in line could be tedious, especially on busy days. The cashier would scan each item individually, a process that seemed to take an eternity. But it was the norm. Everyone waited their turn, patiently, or perhaps not so patiently. It was simply the way things were done. Imagine the beeping of the scanner, the rhythmic sound filling the air.
The evolution of the shopping cart itself is a topic we could delve into, though perhaps another time. From simple metal baskets to the larger, wheeled carts we see today, the impact on the overall shopping experience cannot be overstated. Imagine trying to navigate those long aisles with only a basket. The sheer volume of groceries one could purchase was limited by the size and weight of the basket. The introduction of the cart allowed for larger purchases, which in turn influenced the layout of the store. It's a fascinating interplay of factors, if one chooses to find it fascinating. The cart, the aisles, the checkout, all interconnected. Just a thought. A simple metal frame on wheels, yet so significant. Truly.
We've talked about the shift towards wider aisles, haven't we? Allowing for more space, more browsing, more opportunity for impulse purchases. A subtle change, perhaps, but a significant one nonetheless. Wider aisles mean more room for displays, more room for shoppers to maneuver their carts, and, crucially, more room for, well, more stuff. More products, more choices. It's a subtle shift, but one that has a profound impact on the overall shopping experience. The wider aisles create a sense of spaciousness, a sense of freedom, perhaps. It's a subtle psychological effect, but a powerful one. The wider aisles also allow for more natural light, in some cases, which can further enhance the shopping experience. Think of all that extra space, just there.
And the introduction of end caps. Those displays at the end of each aisle, strategically placed to catch the eye, to tempt the shopper with whatever happens to be on sale that week. A brilliant marketing tactic, wouldn't you agree? Or perhaps not. It's simply a way to showcase certain products, to draw attention to them. Sometimes they feature seasonal items, other times they highlight new products. It's a constantly changing landscape, this world of supermarket end caps. One week it might be canned peaches, the next week it might be, well, anything really. It's a constant cycle of change and sameness, in a way. The products change, but the strategy remains the same. To entice, to tempt, to sell. It's a simple concept, yet effective.
Remember the early days of refrigerated sections? Initially, they were quite small, limited to dairy products and perhaps a few other perishables. Now, entire walls are dedicated to refrigerated goods, from prepared meals to, well, you name it. It's a significant change, reflecting our changing dietary habits, our desire for convenience, our need for instant gratification, perhaps. The evolution of refrigeration technology has played a key role in this transformation, allowing for larger, more efficient cooling systems. It's a fascinating topic, really, if one chooses to find it fascinating. The hum of the refrigerators, a constant presence in the modern supermarket, a background noise that we've become so accustomed to that we hardly even notice it anymore.
And what about the bakery section? Initially just a small counter with a limited selection of breads and pastries, now a full-fledged department with artisan breads, custom cakes, and, well, a vast array of baked goods. The smell of freshly baked bread, wafting through the air, a powerful sensory experience. Designed to entice, of course, to draw shoppers in, to encourage purchases. It's a clever tactic, and a remarkably effective one. The aroma of warm bread triggers a primal response, a sense of comfort perhaps, a reminder of home, of simpler times. It's a powerful association, and one that supermarkets have exploited to great effect. The bakery section, a place of warmth and sugary delights.
Now, as we were saying, or rather, as we may have been implying, the placement of, let's say, the dairy aisle, or the refrigerated section containing dairy products, has undergone, shall we say, a transformation, or perhaps a series of minor adjustments over the years. It wasn't always situated where it is now, you see. Imagine, if you will, a time, perhaps not so long ago, when milk and cheese resided in a different location within the supermarket. It's a thought, isn't it? The very idea of such a change can be quite something. And the implications for the shopper, navigating these aisles in search of, say, a carton of milk, are, well, they are something to consider. They truly are. We'll delve into that shortly. Or perhaps not so shortly. We'll see.
Yes, the dairy aisle. A seemingly simple, yet profoundly complex element of the supermarket ecosystem. One might almost say, a microcosm of the larger retail landscape. Think about it. Milk, cheese, yogurt, and other chilled delights, all neatly arranged within a designated temperature-controlled zone. But where exactly should this zone be located? Near the entrance? At the back? Adjacent to the produce section? These are questions that have plagued supermarket designers and strategists for decades. And the answers? Well, the answers have evolved over time, influenced by factors such as refrigeration technology, consumer behavior, and the ever-shifting sands of retail trends. It's a fascinating, albeit somewhat dry, subject, wouldn't you agree? Or perhaps not. It's certainly a subject we're discussing, right now, on this podcast, about supermarkets.
Consider for a moment the implications of placing the dairy aisle near the entrance. Customers might be tempted to grab their milk and cheese immediately upon entering, potentially filling their baskets before even reaching the other sections of the store. This could lead to, well, it could lead to a number of outcomes. Perhaps they purchase more than they intended. Perhaps they purchase less. Perhaps they simply rearrange the items in their baskets as they proceed through the store. It's a complex equation, with numerous variables at play, and the placement of the dairy aisle is just one piece of this intricate puzzle. A very cold, and often brightly lit, piece of the puzzle. We must consider the lighting too, you see. The brightness, the placement of the fixtures. It all plays a role.
And then there's the question of proximity to other departments. Should dairy be near produce, creating a fresh food zone? Or should it be closer to the frozen foods, capitalizing on the shared need for refrigeration? Or perhaps, as some stores have experimented with, it could be situated near the bakery, enticing shoppers with the possibility of a cheese and bread pairing. The possibilities are, dare I say, almost endless. Or at least, there are several possibilities. More than one, certainly. And each possibility has its own set of advantages and disadvantages. It's a delicate balancing act, a constant search for the optimal configuration, a search that continues to this day, in supermarkets across the land. And beyond, perhaps. Who knows?
Let's not forget the evolution of refrigeration technology itself. Early supermarkets, lacking sophisticated cooling systems, often placed dairy products near the entrance or even outside to minimize the need for extensive refrigeration. As technology advanced, however, this constraint became less of an issue, allowing for greater flexibility in aisle placement. This, in turn, opened up a whole new world of possibilities for supermarket designers. Imagine, if you will, the freedom that came with this technological advancement. The ability to place dairy products virtually anywhere within the store. It was a revolution of sorts. A quiet, unassuming revolution, but a revolution nonetheless. A revolution in refrigerated aisle placement.
And what about the impact on the shopper? Imagine navigating a supermarket where the dairy aisle is located in an unexpected location. The disorientation, the confusion, the frantic search for that elusive carton of milk. It's a scenario that could potentially lead to increased stress levels, decreased customer satisfaction, and even, in extreme cases, a complete abandonment of the shopping cart. The stakes are high, you see. Very high. Or perhaps not. Perhaps it's just a minor inconvenience, a slight disruption in the otherwise smooth flow of the shopping experience. Or eyes. It's hard to say for sure. But it's something to consider, definitely something to consider. While we're on the subject of supermarkets, and their layouts, and the placement of dairy products,
the size and shape of the dairy aisle itself has also undergone significant changes over time. Early dairy aisles were often small and cramped, with limited product selection. As supermarkets expanded and consumer demand grew, however, so too did the dairy aisle. It became larger, more spacious, and more diverse in its offerings. Think about it, from a small, unassuming corner to a vast, refrigerated expanse, filled with countless varieties of milk, cheese, yogurt, and other dairy delights. It's a remarkable transformation, a testament to the ever-evolving nature of the supermarket landscape, and a testament to our enduring love of dairy products, or at least, our tolerance of them. Let's be honest, some dairy products are acquired tastes.
And let's not forget the role of lighting. The brightness, the color temperature, the placement of the fixtures. All of these factors can influence the shopper's perception of the dairy aisle and their overall shopping experience. A brightly lit aisle can create a sense of cleanliness and freshness, while a dimly lit aisle might evoke feelings of mystery or even unease. It's a delicate balance, and one that supermarket designers must carefully consider. The right lighting can enhance the appeal of the products, while the wrong lighting can detract from it. It's a subtle, yet powerful tool in the supermarket designer's arsenal, a tool that can be used to subtly manipulate the shopper's subconscious. Or perhaps not. Perhaps it's just lighting, providing illumination, so we can see the milk, and the cheese, and the yogurt.
And so, we see that the seemingly simple dairy aisle is, in fact, a complex and ever-evolving element of the supermarket landscape. Its placement, its size, its lighting, all of these factors have been carefully considered and meticulously refined over the years, in a constant effort to optimize the shopping experience. It's a fascinating, albeit somewhat dry, subject, and one that we've only just begun to scratch the surface of. But perhaps that's enough for now. Perhaps we should move on to another equally fascinating and equally dry topic. Or perhaps not. Perhaps we should simply bask in the quiet contemplation of the dairy aisle and all its complexities. It's a thought, isn't it? Less than / person 1 greater than. Less than person 1 greater than. So you see, the placement of, let's say, the canned peaches wasn't always a foregone conclusion. It wasn't simply a matter of putting them on a shelf, no. There were discussions, meetings perhaps, maybe just memos, or maybe just thoughts. Someone, somewhere, had to consider the optimal location for the canned peaches. Aisle 3? Aisle 4? Near the canned pears? Or perhaps closer to the baking aisle? For peach cobblers? These are the sorts of weighty decisions that shape the modern supermarket. And they did it all without fanfare, without recognition. They just did it. And we benefit. Or perhaps we don't. It's hard to say, really.
Indeed, one can easily get lost in the minutiae of supermarket design. The fluorescent lights, the gentle hum of the refrigerators, the squeaking of the shopping cart wheels. These things become almost invisible. We take them for granted. But someone, somewhere, chose the specific shade of beige for the floor tiles. Someone decided on the width of the aisles. Someone even selected the font for the price tags. It's a whole world, a silent world, of decisions and choices that we, as consumers, rarely even consider. We just buy our canned peaches and move on. On and on. It's the way of things.
The evolution of the supermarket is a slow, almost imperceptible process. Like continental drift. One day the bread is in aisle 6, the next it's in aisle 7. And we adapt. We adjust. We find the bread. We buy it. We go home. It's a cycle. A very, very slow cycle.
And what drives this cycle? What unseen forces are at play? It's hard to say. Maybe consumer demand. Maybe the whims of the store manager. Maybe the alignment of the stars. Who can truly know these things?
And the checkout lanes. Oh, the checkout lanes. A constant source of mild anxiety. Paper or plastic? Express lane or regular? Did I remember my reusable bags? These are the questions that plague the modern shopper. But once upon a time, there were no checkout lanes. Just a simple counter and a cash register. A simpler time, perhaps. Or maybe not. It's difficult to judge the past through the lens of the present. It's all relative, isn't it? Or is it?
It's a bit like staring at a blank wall. You start to see patterns, shapes, meaning where there is none. The same could be said for supermarket design. Is there truly a grand plan, a master strategy? Or is it just a series of random decisions, cobbled together over time? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like a stew. A very bland stew.
And the music. The gentle, almost subliminal music playing softly overhead. Is it designed to soothe us? To encourage us to spend more? Or is it simply there to fill the silence? Another mystery. Another piece of the puzzle. A puzzle that may not even have a solution. It just is.
We could spend hours, days even, pondering these questions. And for what? Would we gain any true understanding? Would we unlock the secrets of the supermarket? Probably not, but it's something to think about. Something to fill the void. Something to do.
Yes, something to do. Or perhaps, something to not do. Simply to exist, to observe, to contemplate the mundane. That, perhaps, is the true purpose of the supermarket. A stage for our quiet contemplation of nothing in particular. And the canned peaches.
So we've been talking about these supermarket layouts and how they've changed, or not changed, over time. It's a very slow, gradual process. One day, the canned peaches might be on aisle 3. And then, a few weeks later, after much deliberation and planning, perhaps involving meetings and discussions and maybe even some presentations with charts and graphs, they might be moved to aisle 4, or maybe not. Maybe they stay on aisle 3 for another year, or 2, or even 5.
Who's to say, really? It's all very fluid.
You could say it's the imperceptible creep of retail evolution, slow but steady, like the movement of continents. Or perhaps, a puddle that's drying in the sun. Or maybe not. Certainly something to consider.
If you're considering such things, that is.
Yes, and the placement of the dairy products. A whole complex system based on temperature, shelf life, and consumer habits. Milk, cheese, yogurt, all in their designated spaces, sometimes near the back of the store, to encourage a full store traversal, maximizing product exposure. Other times, closer to the front for quick grabs, catering to the busy shopper. Whole departments may shift over the years, only by a few feet. A freezer section might nudge over a meter or two, displacing an end cap display of seasonal items like barbecue sauce or pumpkin spice latte ingredients. These are significant changes in the grand scheme of supermarket design, though they might go unnoticed by the average shopper, who might not even recall that end cap. Did they even see it?
It's a subtle dance, this rearranging of products. A constant push and pull between maximizing sales and maintaining a sense of familiarity for the customer. Too much change, and people get disoriented, frustrated. They can't find their favorite brand of frozen peas, or the particular type of oat milk they prefer, and that leads to dissatisfaction. Too little change, and the store feels stale, outdated. It lacks that sense of novelty, that hint of excitement that comes with discovering a new product placement or a redesigned aisle. It's a tightrope they walk, those retail strategists. Or maybe they don't walk it at all. Who knows?
And the lighting. Oh, the lighting. Fluorescent, LED, halogen, all playing a role in how we perceive the produce. A brighter light on the apples to make them look shinier, more appealing. A softer light on the bakery items to give them a warm, inviting glow. Subtly shifting the color temperature by a few degrees, Kelvin can have a profound impact on sales, supposedly. Or maybe not. These are the sorts of things that keep supermarket executives awake at night, or so I've heard. Or perhaps I haven't. It's a complex world, this world of supermarket illumination.
Then there's the music. Often barely audible, a gentle hum in the background, designed to be unobtrusive yet somehow influential. Studies have been conducted, or perhaps they haven't, on the effects of music tempo and genre on shopping habits. Does faster music lead to quicker shopping trips? Does slower music encourage browsing? Does classical music make people buy more expensive cheese? Or less? It's a mystery, wrapped in an enigma, shrouded in muzak.
And what about the checkout lanes? The express lane, the self-checkout, the traditional checkout with a cashier. The constant evolution of the transaction process, always striving for efficiency, for speed, for that seamless transition from cart to car, contactless payment, scan-as-you-go technology, all designed to minimize friction, to make the checkout experience as painless as possible. Or maybe not. Perhaps it's all just an illusion, a carefully constructed facade to mask the inherent tedium of grocery shopping.
We could go on, of course. We could talk about the placement of the shopping carts, the design of the store entrance, the color schemes used on the walls and floors, but perhaps we've said enough. Or maybe we haven't. It's a vast and complex topic, this history of supermarket layouts, full of subtle shifts and barely perceptible changes. And perhaps, just perhaps, there's more to explore another time. Or maybe there isn't.
Yes, maybe. Or maybe not. We've covered something. Perhaps. And perhaps, that's enough for now. The subtle nuances of retail spaces, truly. A fascinating, if somewhat static subject. We could discuss the implications further, but perhaps we won't. Not today. Maybe another day. Maybe.
Thank you for joining us. Let go of the day and drift softly into rest. There's nothing more to do. Nothing more to think about. Just this moment. Just your breath. Just peace. Sleep well.
Good night and sweet dreams.